Join me in humming or in movement. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 da, 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 hey, 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 da, da. Hey, 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 da, da, Allow that nigun to hum quietly in the background. I'm going to return to that melody with words in a moment. I'd like to begin with a teaching from the Mishnah Ta'anit, Misha Nichnas Av, Mim'atim B'simcha. One who welcomes the month of Av, it's Rosh Chodesh Av, decreases in joy. This phrase may sound familiar. You may have heard Misha Nichnas Adar Marbim B'simcha. One who greets the month of Adar increases in joy, the month that contains Purim. Well, we're just about on the other side of the calendar. It's not quite the antipode of deep winter, but we're in the northern hemisphere in summer. And it was strange for me to encounter the first time going to Jewish summer camp such a dark depth in the middle of a time when a lot of people want to be celebrating, vacationing, relaxing, expanding, and yet we encounter the darkest, deepest constriction of Jewish time this month. In fact, it's concentric circles beginning about 13 days ago, Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz, something beginning something called the 3 weeks. And now Rosh Chodesh beginning something called the 9 days, leading up to Tisha B'Av. These tightening contractions or squeezes. Yet Rosh Chodesh, it's a complicated day because we also say Hallel, or there's something to celebrate after the new moon, the darkness of the new moon and that first crescent, the birth of a new cycle, new hope, new light. So as we prepare to enter into some silence and maybe felt communion and connection, I want you first to bring to mind any contractions in the body. Perhaps they're abundantly obvious. Oh, that shoulder, that jaw, that knee, that back, that headache. Maybe there's more relative ease and you have to go scanning, go cycling through, go seeking out a bit of a contraction. But is there anywhere in the body that's holding, gripping, that we can let go a little bit more? This is not to disconnect necessarily from like the fires and floods and smokes and fear that mark verbalized, acknowledged for many of us. But if there is anywhere in the system, in the body, that can release, soften, settle, see if you can grant yourself permission. This one breath, one movement. And I see some of you moving. That's beautiful. Feel free. This does not have to be a static exploration. In fact, if you notice any stagnancy where there might be, want to be a little bit of flow, prepare your seat, prepare the body, prepare your mind for the meditation that we're about to do together. And now on the next inhalation and the next exhalation, see if there's any constriction, restriction, anywhere you can soften the breathing. Maybe a deepening of the inhale, exhale, tongue, jaw, throat, lungs, diaphragm, upper belly, mid belly, low belly. How much of the body can breathe and soften. So this time is also called Bein HaMitzarim, between the narrows, like Mitzrayim, Mina Meitzar, the time of a squeeze. So I want to invite you to bring a little, I think Mark even said, a little hug of attention to this time. Because the summer contains a little winter and the winter contains a little summer, I'm going to actually offer a poem that kind of comes from the depths of winter, but I think is appropriate for meeting some of the darkness that does occur and arise at this time in the calendar. It's called Pioneer by Giannina Veda. I hold the wisdom of winter in my center, the wisdom of darkness that says, forget everything you have seen, however joyful and painful it was, and trust in the unknown that is hidden from your eyes. Learn from the sleeping animal in the cave, from the resting root and the waiting seed. Learn from the slowness of the earth under a wafer-thin blanket of snow. Learn to breathe without haste, to be present without purpose. Learn to trust in the justice of time, which gives every creature days of light and darkness, times of gathering and losing, of living and passing away. Remember the darkness within you, the wonders that it brings forth after risk and pain, a liberating word, matured in prolonged silence, the glow of a new idea over the abyss of ignorance, the fruit of gratitude on the ground of waiting. Remember the intimate touch that owes itself to the gentleness of the night and blind trust. Befriend the darkness, your faithful pioneer, which calls you throughout your life over the longed for and feared thresholds into the inexhaustibility of life. So no one really wants to decrease in rejoicing. No one really wants the squeeze, the crunch, the nadir. But we can sing our way in it together and into silence with words from the psalm, from the Meitzar, from the narrows. I call out, please answer me in expansion. From contraction, answer me in expansion. Havayali lo ira, the one of being, the infinite one is with me. I will not fear. Ma ya'aseli adam, What can a person do? What can a person do to me, with me? And we'll sing our way with that same melody into a sit together. Min ha-mitzar karatiya Hanani v'merchavya 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 Vaya Lilohira Yaseh Li Adam.
you so much, Rabbi Shir, Meira, Feit, guiding us beautifully, having cultivated presence of ourselves, some divine presence together. Let's use that presence to hold those of us who are in mourning or observing a yard site, or who is accustomed to joining the mourner's Kaddish. If you're joining me for Kaddish, please put the name or names of anybody that you're honoring today in the chat now or afterwards. And again, if you're not reciting Kaddish, as always, please stay present to support those who are. Thanks to Rachel for sharing the words. And if you're joining me, please rise in body or in spirit, and you can unmute at this time.
Buchdahl, Yitkadas B'nei Rabbi, Yivrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, Kayehon V'yomechon, Kayeh Deval Beit Yisrael, Gala Yizman Kariv V'yimru, Amen. Yishmei Rabba Mevorach Olam Lamei Amaya, Yitbarach Yishtabach, Mam Yitnaseh, Hadar Yitaleh, Al Shemei V'Yikovu, Ilan Imkol Yircha V'Shirata, Ushbechata V'Nechamata, Ba'amiran Ba'alma, Amen.
Shlomo Rabbanim Shemaya,
Rabbanim
Hayim
Shemaya,
Aleinu
Hayim
Kol
Aleinu, Al Kol Yisrael, V'Yimru,
Shalom Bimrama
Shalom B'Ramah,
Leinu B'Al Kol
Shalom,
Yisrael
Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael, Kol
B'Yimru.
Yoshei Tevel, V'Yimru, Amen.
Amen.
Friends, thanks so much for joining us today. And if you're leaving us today, I hope you'll join us tomorrow. We're going to welcome back Sarah Waxman from the At the Well Project, who typically leads us on or around Rosh Chodesh each month, and will be leading a sit again on the theme of the month of Av. And on Friday, I invite you to sit into Shabbat with Mariposa Dueñas of Jutina Eco. Always a beautiful practice to gather on Friday so we can sit together into Shabbat. Thanks to Rachel Huget for holding our tech space today, faithfully and skillfully. And thanks to Judith Belson for supporting our practice collectively by dedicating today's sit to honor her in-laws, Ben and Evelyn Karp, on the occasion of their 80th wedding anniversary. As we say, Kanahara. As always, you're welcome just to continue to sit with that beautiful practice that Rabbi Shir Meira guided us in. You can turn the sound off if you like on your computer or device and just continue sitting with our support, or join us for conversation. If you have a question you'd like to ask, just drop it in the chat, write question, all in caps. And as always, just feel free, of course, just to share your reflections on the practice in the chat. And thanks, Shir, for dropping in the poem. As always, much gratitude. And, as I was introducing the session today and noting, where we are in the calendar, and as you restated beautifully about where we are in the calendar and entering into Av, and the themes of where we are in the season. Really, the first question popped into my mind, which is this: the Jewish calendar, like the whole flow of the year, allows space and time for cultivating different states. Like this one is about honoring, for now, I don't know, for shorthand, I'd say honoring grief, heartbreak, etc. I guess I was interested in that it almost feels like it prescribes that, on the one hand, and invites it in, the other hand prescribes it. But we're not always in that space. Like it is a heartbreaking time. It doesn't mean that everybody's feeling heartbroken right now, just as on Simchat Torah, not everyone is feeling so joyful, right? At that moment. So how would you, I don't know, This is a question I wanted to put to you since we welcome everything, all those feelings, how do we work with that when we're guided by the flow of the seasons, which puts special emphasis on certain emotions and certain ways, of the world? Like, what do you do with that?
In my own practice, I keep coming back to honesty and curiosity. In part because I caught myself lying internally to myself about what I was feeling or what I was experiencing, preparing a response, living by strategy that wasn't authentic. And so, by honesty, I mean, and curiosity together, really cultivating a relationship to my inner states. And each of the holidays can then be practiced in that way as well. Here's an opportunity to, is there grief to get in touch with? Or no? Is there joy on Simchat Torah to get in touch with? You said, the calendar gives us this a complete opportunity to interact with or serve the many faces of God, goddess, right? Reb Zalman would teach, the God of Purim is not the same as the God of Yom Kippur. It's the same God, but multiple partsufim or faces. He was paraphrasing something in the Zohar that says, the way our morning offerings are different than our evening offerings. So our morning God, so to speak, is different than their evening God, so to speak. Of course, these are facets. And we think about the Hebrew word emet in terms of like honesty, being true. It's the whole gamut of our experience. So you could be heartbroken in the face of the happiest thing in the world. And you could be feeling grateful, overflowing, and joyous in the face of real tragedy. And that's the paradox for me of being alive, of being human. We contain, like Walt Whitman said, multitudes. So, and when you talk about the prescribed, the mitzvah, the commandment, the prescription to feel a certain way, I think immediately of ve'ahavta, you shall love. Can we be forced to love? No, we can't. We can't be forced to love. And so perhaps it's not prescriptive as much as descriptive. If you love God, then such and such. If you grieve destruction, mourning, loss, then ...
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, part of what I'm taking from that is it's really an invitation to explore, the seasonal theme, as it were, right? Like you said, like, am I feeling heartbreak? Am I feeling grief? And it gives us an opportunity, it gives us a chance to honor that, right? And to really metabolize it in a way that we might not otherwise. And over the course of the year, we really get to go through all of them, the whole, like you said, the gamut. How did you put it about this period? You said, get a phrase there. You know what I'm saying?
Not yet.
Maybe somebody just like in referring to entering into like the 9 days, you talked about the concentric circles of, we have the 3 weeks and 9 days, but you had a phrase. Maybe
in
somebody
Hebrew
would put
or
it in the
English?
chat. No, in English. It was a good Zalman-esque kind of encapsulation.
Maybe the squeeze, like
yes, that's
the
it.
squeeze.
The squeeze. Yes, period of squeeze. I love that. Just wanted to honor that.
Well, the Yerushalmi, the Brachot, the Jerusalem version of the Talmud in Brachot says that out of Tisha B'Av, Messiah will be born, right? So these ideas of Chevle de Meshicha, the birth pangs of Messiah, and even that feeling of contraction are like birth constrictions, right? So it should be a good squeeze. It should be like leading to some sort of redemptive birth of something. And birth, all of that is a very harrowing, narrow passage sometimes.
Well, I also love that the psalm you brought in, which is from Hallel, but has, the association with that is primarily, I guess, with Pesach, with Passover, right? About narrowness and calling out. So that is what I heard that as a little segue into Lori's question, who's asked, would you please suggest a prayer construct song? I mean, definitely you have some songs here for this to help me heal the experience of Hametzar in my own body, to widen the space and escape the pain and debilitation of the narrowing of spinal column veins and lymph tightening. It feels possible using this paradigm and Nigun that phrase, it begins with Meitzar, but it ends with merchavya, of spaciousness, right? It's like it takes just that phrase from the psalm takes us on that journey. But maybe you want to speak to that, like when we notice that kind of constriction, what do you find most helpful in um, creating some spaciousness around that?
That's where the curiosity comes in. When I talked about honesty and curiosity, the courage and possibly the support. I mean, I hear you, Lori, asking for support, whether it's in the form
Mhm.
of prayer, poetry, text, a person, a community, a place in the world. We can't do these things alone necessarily, but resource in order to become curious about the experience of Meitzar. It's actually from constriction, from pain. When I said no one particularly wants to reduce pain, we have to actually, or reduce happiness, reduce our resistance to the resistance. We have resistance in our body to things that occur. Like something loud happens, we shut down. That's the design of the system. Sometimes that shutdown or that constriction gets caught in the body in ways that with grace, time, curiosity can unwind, and sometimes no. Some injuries are we don't have any agency, autonomy, or authority around our constriction. Getting curious about experiences where there might be even a degree of freedom is for me the practice. It's why I put the shofar on my altar here, right? Mina Meitzar, from the narrow
Mhm.
point of the shofar to the merchav of the shofar. That is also a spiral birth canal, right? It's by entering into experiences we may not have chosen and yet are upon us, that to the capacity, to the extent we can be honest and curious about those, it's the butsina de kartanuta, the dark lamp, the treasure of darkness, that the Kabbalah talks about, hiding the light in the darkness, so to speak.
Shir, can you say something like in that vein? Can you say something, since underneath the surface here, I think there is the implicit theology, which is non-dual theology, which sees God in everything, including in the constriction, right? And including in the shadow, the darkness, etc. Right? You can say a little bit about that, because that fits into this. I think the kind of the constriction itself contains the calling out, right, and the invitation to move through it. Do you
Yeah.
subscribe to that? I mean, I'm not going to assume that you subscribe to that. I just kind of assume, right?
Yeah, I think you've asked, in this like light, gentle Q&A for basically a
Can you please give
course,
us
a
pages
Kabbalistic
for?
theological course on non-duality.
You have 2 minutes. Go.
Go. Well, what pops into my head from the non-dual literature, theology world is a teaching from Nisargadatta Maharaj, Advaita Vedanta master. Well, actually, two phrases of his one: the mind creates the chasm, the heart bridges it. And another thing he said, like, wisdom tells me I'm nothing, love tells me I'm everything, and in between the two, my life flows. And I think those are such beautiful, evocative, poetic descriptions, which, yes, is found in the Kabbalah as well, though in less, in more densely packed language of light and vessels. So we experience things from the outside, so to speak, as where's God in this? Where is God? It's the shell, and only inside the shell is the seed or the germ of life. So we encounter the darkness, so to speak, of that, and the light is hidden inside. But the Kabbalah, the non-dual, the master tell us it's the vessel is the light and the light is the vessel. That's much more, and the nature of the non-dual is like it's so ungraspable. These are more paradoxical. That's a nut to chew on for a while, right?
That was great. That was great. That was great.
Thanks for putting me on the spot, the hot seat.
That was great.
Um,
I knew you could handle it. That was great. Listen, why don't we? It would be really nice. I think people really appreciate it. I know. Is that Miha Meitzar? Is that available, or is that?
It's not yet on one of my albums. It hasn't been recorded. It was I haven't put out an album of recordings yet. This will be on YouTube. So you can go back to this recording, but I don't yet have a link for it because it's a relative. I wrote that one in 22 or 23, so it hasn't been recorded yet. But
Okay. All right. You mind taking us out again?
we can return to the melody. Yeah.
Would be great. Thanks.
Min hametzar karatia anani vamerchavya min hametzar karatia anani vamerchavya vaya lilo ira from the narrowness I call out towards bliss. Please help me be with this. From the narrowness I call out for bliss. Please help me face this. Ayananai, didi-dai, 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 dai, 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 dai. Ay, ay, ababai, abai, ababai, ay, da-da-dai, dai, dai, ay, dai, 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 dai. Chodesh Tov.
Chodesh Tov. Thank you so much, Rabbi Shir, Meira, Feit, the gift of all of this today. Thanks to Rachel for holding our space. Thanks to each and every one of you for taking the time to give yourself that hug today. Show up for yourself and for each other. And may it sustain you the rest of today and beyond. And we hope to see you all tomorrow. Practice with Sarah Waxman, everyone. Chodesh Tov. Be well.
Big